afternoon, because it is afternoon. We're shooting this episode of Empire's Movie of the Week, and we're going to be talking about Jason Reitman's new flick, Labor Day. Before we get into that, though, the new issue on stands is this fabulous piece of work with Captain America and his new suit. There, Marvel fans, new suit, and the 100 movies to see in 2014. The big preview that we do annually, and it's back in print. Get into that, JJ.
Yes.
Tell us about Labor Day.
Okay, Labor Day. As you mentioned already, Jason Reitman's new film. For those not familiar, he did Juno, Thank You for Smoking, Young Adult, and Up in the Air with George Clooney. All quite acerbic, sardonic sort of films with a bit of a smart-ass bite to them. Labor Day is a very different film for Jason Reitman. It's quite sentimental, it's quite sweet, and has
no smart-ass bite.
No smart-ass bite. It's got a very gooey heart.
I was going to say dumbass, but it's not. It's not that either. Yeah,
no, it's not.
Pray continue.
Thank you. So it's based on Joyce Maynard's novel. It's set in 1987, and it tells the story of a emotionally fragile mother, played by the radiant Kate Winslet. She lives at home with her young boy Henry, played by a boy called Gatlin Griffith.
Awesome name.
Weird, quirky American names that seem to be made up.
GG to his friends.
GG to his friends. So he's the son. The two of them don't leave the house much because the mum's a bit of an emotional wreck, which we learn about over the course of the film. They basically go to one of their very rare trips into town one day and are taken hostage by a convict, an escaped convict played by the very handsome Josh Brolin.
Frank Banner is his name.
Frank Banner. So Frank takes the pair back to the house, and over the Labor Day weekend, hence the film's title, basically a weird sort of relationship forms between them where he becomes a surrogate dad for the young boy and a surrogate husband in a way to the mum.
And he does a lot of chores as well.
He does a lot of chores around the house. If he's the type of escaped prisoner who comes and fixes up your house,
we all want one.
sweeps the floor and gets the leaves out of the gutter.
Let's have a look at the clip where the Stockholm Syndrome thing sort of seems to be happening. Let's have a look at it now.
I should go. Then we'll come back for a few hours. This is as good a window as I'm gonna get.
Maybe tomorrow, once your stitches have had a little more time.
They're not gonna stop looking, Adele.
They have dogs that can smell your blood. You should probably let your stitches heal. You should stay.
Right, so things are obviously afoot there. In a curious situation in the night. So, what did you think?
Look, it's a funny old film because it's sort of tonally, it takes a lot of viewpoints and vantage points. It's a coming-of-age film where the young boy is kind of witnessing this simmering romance going on between Josh Brolin's character and Kate Winslet's character. There's a bit of a crime drama element because there's a massive manhunt going on outside of the house looking for Josh Brolin's character. But the romance is probably the focal point of the film. This kind of like weird thing where these two very damaged people sort of find each other and something develops. And I guess the quintessential scene in this film, without spoiling too much, is a pie-making scene where the young boy, Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin all get in together and make a peach pie together. Which is kind of like weirdly erotic and kind of sexual.
Kind of going for the ghost in the MasterChef market.
There's a sensuality to it that is queasy, which is kind of a word I'd use to describe a lot of the tone of what's happening in the movie. The simple fact that the mother is kind of falling for this escaped convict without Tim knowing too much about him. His past is sort of revealed in flashback. And the relationship with the boy as well. It's sort of there's this manipulation that happens, and I think that's kind of echoed within the form of it as well. This sort of ambiguous tone that Reitman's gone for is bizarre in the sense that the cinematography, Eric Steinberg's cinematography is really gold, and he's done a lot of stuff with Reitman. But he's got this really Rockwellian kind of, East Coast summer kind of, look to everything.
It's a beautiful looking film.
Yeah. There's been comparisons to the sort of aesthetic of Amblin Entertainment movies.
And there's lots of little nods. It's like E.T. posters up on the wall, and the family all sits down and watch.
There's sort of a Goonies vibe to it. Not really. It's still not really. It's a totally different film. But I mean, and it's a much more serious.
But that
piece of
focus on the
work,
kid's point of view.
Yeah, that's right. So
I think the important thing to note is, mentioning that there's a bit of queasy stuff in it is probably what saves the film from being a bit too cheesy, because it can kind of get a bit TV movie of the week.
Oh, completely. And
it's definitely refreshing.
It teeters on that, and I think it's because of the performances, really, and the atmosphere that Reitman builds. I mean, the three leads are fantastic, and you really believe the passion that's building up, especially between Winslet and Mr. Brolin, and as well the score as well. Rolf Kent's score is fantastic, and it just
kind of pulses through it, doesn't
and
it?
so
It
there's
just creates
and
these
some moments
long elements of drama,
and really builds up the tension, because there's some quite tense moments, despite the melodrama that the film often kind of ducks into. It's pretty tense. There's some good sequences in there which kind of get you on the edge of your seat.
Clark Gregg makes an appearance as Henry's dad,
Yes.
the estranged dad. Well, estranged from his wife. They're not estranged from father and son, which is pretty good. But look, what are we going to give it, guys? What are you thinking?
Look, for me, I certainly recognise that there were elements in it which were, borderline cheesy, but I think for Reitman it's a very interesting and brave choice. He's kind of like stepped out of his comfort zone and made something completely different. It may mean a completely different track for him in the future, so I think as an emerging director and one who's made some very interesting films, this is probably more of a stepping stone into other territory.
Right.
That doesn't always work, but for me, look, I've got a lump in the throat, a little bit of dust got in the eye. Towards the end
Poor
there.
little Didum. He's always running out.
You're right, mate. You're right. No, it's all right. So it's my allergies are playing up again. It's all right. Anyway, I'll give it. I need to watch it.
What are you going to give it?
I need to watch a Vin Diesel film.
4 stars. 4 teary stars from JJ. So we have 4 teary stars.
I'd be a bit quicker. I mean, I thought it did kind of descend into melodrama, but the performances lifted it up for me, so 3 stars.
I think I'm with you there, Dave. I'm going to give it 3 stars as well. I think it's a really interesting, brave choice. It'd kind of be a 3.5 star movie almost, but at Empire we don't do the half theme because there's no half measures. So, but I think it sort of left me with a funny taste in some respects.
But it's still a solid piece of work.
But there was a little bit. It's, 3 stars for me. So that's 2 3 stars and a 4 for Labor Day. The new one from Jason Reitman's in cinemas today. Next week we're going to be talking about Blue is the Warmest Colour, which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 2013. Until then, we'll see you later.
Cuddle time.
This is a newfound development. Here we go.